What's up, buddy? I left. Y'all got water? I didn't.
We,
Nothing in the refrigerator.
I
Okay.
will make sure that we get some.
That's fine. That's all good. I walked off and forgot. I didn't realize how late it was getting. Yeah, I had one of them.
Monday.
Nerve of them. Who do they think they are? Don't they know this is your house?
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do today is instead of the clock that shows you what time it is,
Right.
I'm going to do a countdown from 5.
Okay.
Once it hits 0, you're off.
Okay.
But I'll still
5
give you
minutes
the
or
count
5
of 5
seconds?
minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Happy talking.
Hello, hello, hello.
the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right, good afternoon and welcome to WSIC. We're live in the Purple Heart Home studio here. We're also live on X, Twitter, WSIC app. We're working on Facebook Live. I think that's going to be coming on. Oh, I'm seeing the head shake. Yes, that's there. And we're pleased you joined us today for the good, the bad, and the guilty. I am your host, Captain Matt Burleyson. I am not Sheriff Darren Campbell. You'll see my name on the screen there. It says it. Well, not that screen. I made you look, though.
You made me look.
Sheriff had 3-4 people in his office as I was walking down the hall. So how many times do you see that? That's
more than we like to.
Yes, that's a minimum number sometimes.
He stays busy.
So I got to go ahead. I think every time I get the opportunity to come be on the radio show, it seems like the sheriff gets tied up, which I've not had many opportunities to be here in the Purple Heart Homes, but I like it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's my bad luck, his good luck.
No.
But I'm here, and you're here because we work together. This is Lieutenant Brandon Owens.
How are you?
He is the School Resource Officer Supervisor. He's got quite a few years' experience. I'll let you talk about yourself in a little bit. I haven't done all my homework. I'm worried about you from here now or from here on. I don't worry about your past, right? That's in the past.
Yeah,
but your pedigree is what makes you great for this opportunity. You just finished during the Christmas break, the school break. You just finished the School Resource Officer Training Program.
That's correct.
I hear you had an excellent instructor.
He was all right.
He was just average.
It was just average.
It was me, folks. So he's had to listen to me for 40 hours of teaching instruction. But we had a couple of special guests come in, and that was nice to do that. So
it was a very mind-opening course. It really was. There was a lot brought out in it. It was a very good course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
40 hours plus of instruction, tests, presentation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you made me get up in front of everybody and talk.
Yes, I did. Several times, right?
Several times.
Yeah, that was not just you, but I made the class of 19. We had 19 school resource officers come to us from, we had Caldwell County, Catawba County. Of course, there were 4 from
Davie County, Rowan County.
Yep. Even the great state of Mecklenburg had a few folks up
Elkin
from
had some
Huntersville and Cornelius. But this is just a great opportunity where the sheriff allows us to host this training here. It's through Mitchell College, and really just use some of our resources because I know it's the best school resource officer program in the state. Because what the sheriff's done with it, how he's grown
Absolutely.
it, I believe it's the biggest with the canines and all of this. So it's pretty good. A lot of extra things that he's put into play. The shields in the schools, the safes, the threat assessment investigators, which one of those got to come. So that's one of the things I'll just talk about a little bit today. We'll probably get into that a little deeper in our next segment, talking about that school resource officer training, just the opportunities for those guys to do. I do have our news feeds of the stuff that we have going on, some of our Facebook posts, media posts, if you're keeping up with some of the media outlets where we send those. We've got some arrests here. We've got some weather on the horizon too.
They say there's going to be, and they say it's coming out of the south. That's the only part that bothers me.
That's the worst part, right? They talk about those Atlanta snows and stuff coming up here. So, but with the next couple of minutes we got before we go to break, introduce yourself to the listeners. And it's been a while since you've been on a radio show. I'm sure you wished it had been a lot longer before I brought you back on here, but here you are.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but for some reason the radio makes me nervous. My name's Lieutenant Brandon Owens. I've been with the sheriff's office forever, it seems. Mm-hmm. Been very fortunate to be under Sheriff Campbell. He's been good to us. And I've got a lot of training, a lot of experience under him. I started in the detention center in 2004.
You hear Sheriff Campbell talking about starting at the detention center himself and having that background and moving up and knowing.
People don't know it. Sheriff Campbell used to be my road lieutenant not long after I come out of the detention center. He was very proud of his time in the detention center.
Right.
He's worked about everything.
Right, yep.
I worked in the detention center. I was a supervisor in the detention center. I come out of there to patrol, was an FTO. Did patrol for many years. At one point, I got certified as a canine handler.
Right.
Went to narcotics. I was a
Right.
narcotics detective for 4.5 years.
I didn't think you could talk about that kind of stuff. That's
I ain't gonna
undercover
tell you
work.
what we did, and I don't look nothing like I did.
You don't
when
look
I
like
was-
you did. Yeah, I saw some photos. There was a long ZZ top beard.
I loved it. I used to braid Christmas bells in it at Christmas time. Sheriff hated it, but
Yeah.
I loved it.
So you were there for several years.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Under former Captain Cass and Captain Hawkins now.
Mm-hmm.
That was my supervisors while I was out there. Chief Hamby was actually out there
Yeah.
right before I came out.
Okay.
So, I mean, the sheriff always puts good people in place.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for a good while, left there. I went to the cops unit down in Mooresville, which you're familiar with.
Right. Yep.
You did a lot of years down there
I
at one
did,
time.
exactly. I was a supervisor in the cops unit. My last guest that sit here, we talked a little bit about that time, Patrick Dixon,
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Dixon. He
Yep.
actually, I think I got to supervise him for about 3 days as his sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really, really great group of people working down there.
It is. I worked under Major Fink down there,
Yep.
and he was top shelf.
Right.
You know.
Well, the community too. You know, the
They
sheriff gets a lot of support throughout the county and the state as well with his sheriff's association presidency and now sitting on a board. But having that population base down there and having a dedicated unit service group and all the
Absolutely.
things they did, so there was a lot of extra.
A lot of extra. You
Right.
you do patrol work down there, but you also do a lot of community functions,
Right.
Community events, homeowner association type stuff. You know,
The schools, a lot
The
of schools, yeah,
schools, yeah, there's a
private
lot of
schools,
schools down
yeah,
there.
daycares.
you also got lake patrol.
Yes.
They
Did that too.
yeah.
Did you lake patrol or you just supervise them?
I was on a little bit of the water for a
Right.
little while, but Jared Church
Standing
is
on
actually.
standing on the dock doesn't count being on the water.
They would let me drive once in a
Okay,
while,
just
not
making
that
sure.
often. Once in a while. Jared Church is a sergeant over it
Okay.
down there now,
Right.
and he does a great job.
Right.
We did that. I was on our tactical team for 9.5 years during all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year, the sheriff saw fit to bring me out because of my background with community-oriented policing, tactical team, the
Right.
investigations and all. He saw fit to bring me out and put me over the school resource officers under you.
Right. Yep.
And it's been nothing but great sin. I've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
great group of people under me. They love the schools and they love our kids.
Right.
And it's
And that's
it's wonderful.
what it's about. And we've got about 30 seconds left. But I told you folks, tune in. If your kids are out of school, get them to look at Facebook with you. Maybe they want to make some comments or questions. I'll get our Facebook up on that so we can answer those here on WSIC. But we'll be talking more about our SRO group and more about some of that training that went into that. So thank you for being here, Brandon.
Well, thank you for having me.
waiting for the music to cue off here. You caught me talking to my buddy here in the break. We were just catching up and talking a little bit about the weather, right?
It's gonna be nasty.
It was cold this morning.
They're already putting brine out all over the roads. So
Yes, I saw that.
telling
Little
you,
streaks.
I think they finally realized that it's probably coming.
Well, I mean, I like the snow, right? But nobody likes the ice. Nobody wants the freezing rain. Snow's pretty. I like to look at it, and I want to go away.
I mean, you know what's good though from your years on patrol? It don't stop. Like there'll still be deputies out running call to call to call.
Yep.
No
And
matter how bad it is.
Yeah, and we've got, I know I've got a four-wheel drive pickup that patrol supervisors already said, hey, if we need it, we're coming to get it this weekend. So they'll come get it down there in Mooresville for me. But a lot of our cars are those all-wheel drives that seem to go pretty good in the weather because that's right. If you got a call, you call us, we got to go. I mean, the ambulances, the fire service, all the emergency responders.
It never stops.
Yeah, it doesn't close 24/7. So, and yeah, so if you need us any type of situation like that, I know that we're going to be trying to monitor the roadways and we'll get information and reports from our deputies that are out there and our supervisors are out there, and they'll let us know on that. So, but we're just talking about in the studio how warm it is in here. I got my little sweater vest on. You got a sweater today, right?
I did. I went down to Harrison's and got me one.
So that the sheriff said that he'd like to see some of those sweaters. That's some old school patrol techniques right there, right?
The one I've got at the house got the old patches on it.
Okay.
So that's why I needed a new one. Plus,
right.
it's seen some years.
Right. So one of our civil deputies went out today, had one on. One of our lieutenants last week had one on, and so I mean, you see Brandon here squared away, looking sharp, and that's important. I mean, we got to make sure if you look good, you feel good, and you act good.
Absolutely.
So that's very presentable. But these sweaters, sometimes wearing a coat and all this extra loose material, but having a sweater that you're able to tuck in, have in, and they look sharp, black with the patches on the sleeves, badge holder. So I can't wait to see you in that.
Yeah,
that'll be good. So.
I wear it more. It's gonna be cold.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be cold. So so I think we're down to like 19 degrees somewhere around in there. So we had some school delays.
Yes.
You started back school from our weeks, and they delayed those. I want to make sure those buses and stuff get there safely. And we'll try to keep you. We depend on the school system to let us know that stuff. So as far as our school resource officers, when
our
they're going through
SROs,
schools,
they were all there on time.
Oh, yeah,
they were there monitoring school.
right.
Everything.
Well,
like
your
that early.
staff are in the building.
They're coming in, so they're there to
Right.
safety and security.
And
all
one of
time.
the things that you guys learned a lot last week from some of the threat assessment investigators. Who should be the first on campus a lot of times.
SRO.
Exactly right. And they'll get there. They'll make that round, make that loop. Any suspicious vehicles, anybody there, that perimeter security, make sure everything looks good before anyone goes in.
Absolutely.
So that's important. So so what are some of the topics we covered last week?
You gonna put me on the spot?
Well,
like
you're
that?
supposed to remember all this. I'm putting you on the
I
spot.
don't remember.
Okay, we talked about juvenile law. Of course, we had the juvenile justice system.
The attorney, the sheriff's office attorney, come by and speak to us.
Yep, we talked about some of the laws surrounding the just acting as a school resource officer.
FERPA.
Yep, we talked about that. Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act. He's going through his mind and his file cabinet, and he's finding what answers on the test.
That's
They
right.
had a 50-question test, and everybody did really well.
Yeah.
But I know one of the things that I really liked was the presentation. And
The presentations was good.
Right.
I was kind of nervous about it because,
well, a lot of people are.
when your grade and passing and stuff depends on that, you get nervous about it. But it wasn't bad.
So
pick a topic and roll on with it.
yeah, exactly. And it was kind of unique. So week-long course, the first day they get told, hey, the last day you guys are going to do a presentation, 10 to 15 minutes. We had school resource officers from high schools, middle schools, elementary schools. And, your presentation should be something that you are going to deliver to your school. Don't work on this thing, doing your research, making up your slides, doing your presentation, and then not get a chance to use it. We kind of dipped our toes in the water. I think the first thing I had you guys do was introduce yourselves.
Introduce ourselves. And then the next thing you made me do was talk about the word dog.
Was it dog?
It
Is
was
that what
dog. I still remember it. For how long? Like 2 or 3 minutes.
It was 1 minute. That's all it was.
Seemed like 10.
It was 1 minute. It was the 1 minute impromptu speech where you're just giving a word. I let them pick their word. I mean, but
Yeah, out of a hat.
yeah, and it was closed, so but you picked it. So they picked their word, and it was dog, cat, ball, rain, car, hunt, fish. I mean, there was. I mean, I had to come up with 19 different things.
I know.
So I was racking my
A big
brain for
class.
those. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, getting up there doing that speaking and talking, because you guys are educators. The triad role of the resource officer not only is the law enforcement officer, but also the educator and the mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to talk to kids and
I remember
you know,
that. when we
yeah,
talked
you
about
remember
it.
that?
I remember that too.
Yep. So, but that educator part, being able to stand up and talk and teach stuff, it's a great opportunity. I know that one of our officers did the life vac.
Mm-hmm.
So he did it in my room. I think you
That was
yeah.
Deputy Kreitz.
Yeah, Deputy Kreitz did the life vac, and he's already presented to his staff
Mm-hmm.
about that because he was getting some of those, and that's for choking
He
individuals.
did them for Third Creek when he was at Third Creek as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's got those in there. So yeah, and it's just a passion for these guys. They're a calling, if you will, as far as where they go. So, but what was your presentation?
Traffic stops for young drivers.
Okay.
For high school students.
All right.
Kind of going over what to do when they get stopped by law enforcement.
Right.
Because that's a big stigma going around now.
Right.
And we
Well,
try to bridge that gap.
Mhm.
So that's one of those stigma, those a lot of people like, I'm scared of what to do whenever I get stopped by law
Right.
enforcement.
Mhm.
And so that's why I picked that one and went over, just some basic things,
Mhm.
roll your windows down. If it's at night, turn your lights on
Yep.
inside the vehicle so the officer can see. Keep your hands where you can see them. Don't
Right.
be shuffling through stuff. Makes
Mhm.
us nervous,
Right. Yep.
you know.
And that's the thing. They're nervous, especially as young drivers. Maybe they've never been stopped before. They don't know what they're being stopped
Mhm.
for. And it could just be an equipment violation.
Yep.
It may not be that they've broken a law. It could be a safety violation. Hey, did you know your taillight was out?
Yep.
But this is the first time they had blue lights on.
Yep.
And they're nervous and they're worried, not because you look bad or act bad, but you don't really see those good traffic stops on TikTok, do you?
No, you don't.
No, YouTube's got all the negative stuff out there,
No.
and so that's a good idea. That's great to be able to educate the young drivers.
And that was the biggest thing. Even though they see the negative traffic stops on YouTube and TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
we're taught over and over the negative traffic stops from the law enforcement standby
Mhm.
when something bad happens. And that's where I come back to bridging that gap,
Right,
understand each other so we can all go home at the end of the day.
right, yep, yeah, and that's a great opportunity with that school resource officer. I know one of our newest resource officers. I talked to Colby this morning,
Yeah.
Gregory. Welcome back, Colby Gregory. Saw him on Facebook. He had been here for several years, and
He's at Cool Springs.
yeah, Cool Spring Elementary now. He'd been a K-9 handler, been on our aggressive criminal enforcement
Life
team.
Saving Award.
Yeah, it's a great guy.
Yep.
And this is a whole new chapter in his law enforcement career. And you
They
know,
were sad, though, that Deputy Miller left out there.
right.
But
Yep.
understand she went to Harmony, which that'd be a good spot for her, too. She's going to be great up there. They already love her up
Oh,
there
yeah.
from what I'm hearing.
Well, the sheriff's picks the right people for the right places.
Absolutely.
So especially you and your tactical experience. Now, we're not doing any CERT team stuff. I know you've asked about doing some high speed, low drag stuff, but you've talked to the officers about just the kind of like mental preparedness, situational awareness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately we live in a day and time where you have to be mentally prepared for that.
Mhm.
The sheriff, he was okay with me going, and you were too, going through Lieutenant Price. He's our
Yep.
CERT commander. That team's amazing.
Right.
They really are. And the sheriff handpicks who goes on that.
Right.
Well,
they've had.
They had a rough year last year.
Well,
I say a rough year.
Okay, and the
but
way you said it, I was fixing to say they had a good year.
it's
but,
a good year.
But no situation that they're involved in. It's already the worst. It's bad. But what I mean by good is that
they all got to go home.
exactly. Yep.
And, and a lot of that comes back to some of the equipment that
Mhm.
the sheriff's been able to give for them. Using asset forfeiture money and stuff
Right,
like that,
yep.
like the Bearcat.
Right. Yep.
Okay, that thing, we hadn't had it a month,
Mhm.
and I was in it. when we got shot at the
you
first
were there?
time.
Yep.
That was up in the north end.
Right. Yep.
And then, the county commissioners and sheriff, they all got on board and got the Rook here lately.
Right.
That thing's going to be amazing for them, especially for elevated.
Right.
It's just, I can't say enough that they have that team's back, but that team is solid.
Right.
They got some of the best guys you could ever imagine in it. And
So-
I affectionately call him Gunny, but it's Lieutenant Price.
Well, you were starting to talk about some of the training that he did with the resource
Absolutely.
officer
We did
this
that
summer.
last summer.
Right.
I actually seen him today, and I said, we still planning on maybe doing that again this summer? Some? And he said, absolutely. He needs
Okay,
me to
good.
get him a copy of some of the work days and stuff coming up, too.
Okay.
But he was all for it because,
Right.
all of us, the sheriff especially, we're all on the same page. You'd rather be prepared for it than not. You know what I mean?
Well, and I've got, we just got a minute to go, so I'll go ahead and drop this on you now. February 7th, our next school resource or next teacher work day. I just lined up some training today, talked to the sheriff and Captain Getz about it, the youth mental health first aid training.
That sounds
Did
awesome.
I talk to you about that?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right. So I'm talking to you about it now.
Fair enough. Lay it on.
No, it's great. It'll be our guys. I'll invite the other resource officers from the other agencies to come. It'll be at our facility, and it's just again youth mental health and how we can be there to help those in crisis and need. So
What I want to know before we go off air, are you doing the polar plunge with us? The
we'll be right back.
Where
just
the whole unit is talking about it now. Come on, we got 15
they're
seconds.
talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This fat boy's got.
This fat boy's going too.
Guys, we'll be back in about 5 seconds. Thank you, or we'll be gone. Thank you. right. You said wait for your thumbs up, and I was looking away from it. Thank you so much for rejoining us back here at The Good, the Bad, the Guilty. We're on X and Twitter and WSIC and Facebook Live. So that's what I was looking at. I was looking for any comments, and nobody's made any comments or questions or anything yet. So is anybody out there? Just let us know you're listening. So that'd be great. But I'm in studio with my good friend and partner here. This is Lieutenant Brandon Owens. Brandon has the it's the honor and privilege, but it's also the headache and aggravation of being the lieutenant of. It ain't that bad. Well, you've got some great sergeants too.
I do. I really do.
yeah.
Deputy Atwood and Deputy Hicks. They do a great
Right. Yeah,
job.
they've done a lot of good things. But we were talking about the training from last week and the importance of the things that we get to do there, being able to have that practice and teaching. And that's what we do. A lot of the officers have to go out to community meetings. They have to do think of Ryan Rankins is always
That's first two hit my mind.
Yeah. So the sheriff's got
Deputy
him going.
Welborn.
Yep, exactly. Deputy Welborn's got the youth education trailer.
And Tito.
Tito, exactly. Yeah, Tito's everybody's. She says she's just Tito's mama. She just drives him around. So
everybody knows Tito.
Oh yeah, exactly right. So yeah, that's a lot of things that we've got going on. The teen academies in the summertime, all those things the sheriff's got about building those relationships.
Yep.
And I think that was the last thing you talked about. You was talking about building relationships,
Bridging that gap.
That's it, bridging the gap with your course. So, what are some other things going on with the unit? You started talking to me about something. You really put me on the spot.
Oh, the polar plunge.
Yeah.
That mean you're going to do it, right?
No, I'm just revisiting the part because I didn't want you to.
You sent out the email. With the Special Olympics, they're putting on that polar plunge.
Right.
I can't remember the dates right off, but
it's
Deputy
sometime
Lewis,
cold. Yep.
Deputy Lewis, he's did it before. He's got a big picture in his office, of him going down the slide in the middle of February.
Right.
I believe it's February don't quote me on it, 15th or 16th.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's sometime cold.
it's cold.
Yeah, I did a
You'll
polar.
warm up.
I did a polar tiptoe. It sounds good to me, right? Years ago, another law enforcement agency I was with, we had an opportunity to help out the Special Olympics, and it was at Lake Norman, and it was there was the bank.
That organization's near and dear to my heart anyway.
Yep, I know exactly. Yeah, hits close to home family. So, but yeah, anything that we can do, those officers are getting involved. I did see several folks respond to the email, and they're getting involved with that polar plunge. So that's nice. We appreciate your support. Just if anything, just come out there and watch them take
like
the plunge.
last year, like when they do the Special Olympics over there at the high school. The sheriff's office, we always run the torch. Usually every year. Our tactical team and then patrol deputies, everybody. They
There's
all
a
do
patrol
that. It's
unit
pretty neat.
that run that. Lieutenant Chase Little's unit.
His squad.
Yeah, his squad's always run that. But yeah, that tactical team, they put on all that gear.
I've ran it.
Wow.
It ain't no fun. I hate to run, and y'all all know that. Y'all ever see me running, you better get behind me.
Yeah. Well, how big are you? Well, I know you don't ask somebody's weight, or that's just a girl, but you're tall.
I'm 6'1", 260.
Good gosh. That's why I just get behind you.
What is it they say? The gym is my mental health thing.
There you go. Exactly right.
So I spend a lot of time there.
That's good. That's good. Well,
also why I don't got no hair.
There's a lot of reasons for the no hair part, but so we've got several other things going on in the sheriff's office. We talk about the RAD class that's coming up this weekend. The weather, though, I'm worried that could put a damper on that plan.
Sure, it'll be on the app or the website.
Yes,
if
yes,
it changes
we'll put that out there. We'll make sure that everyone knows it. We've got the registration. We've got about 40 ladies signed up for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so from
that group of instructors that does that, they're really top shelf. All of them went to specialized training to learn that.
Right,
too,
exactly. Yep. And it's females only, and having that that interaction with a law enforcement officer to kind of the first thing we talked about, the situational awareness. That's one of the first things they hit on is don't be a victim, and giving them that mindset, and then it's hands on.
Yep.
It's time to
Yeah,
punch the bag.
They fight the red man and everything.
They
don't
fight the red man, and I know that it is optional. It's never been optional for us, but it's optional for these ladies. So that the first day is a long day. It's an 8, 9 hour, 10-hour day. The next day is a couple hours where they have the opportunity to fight the red man. And what I mean by that is there's a red padded suit that one of our officers will put on, and then he gets whacked on and punched and kicked and elbowed and kneed and all that stuff. But I strongly encourage, no matter what your physical capabilities are, I've been able to help out with a few of these trainings for the ladies, and it is empowering. It is emboldening. It lets you have that feeling that I've completed something. I've beat a man.
Yep.
I mean, essentially, and that's that mindset. That's what you need to be able to overcome and win that. So hopefully we can have that. I know it's been a great turnout this Saturday and this Sunday. But if you're already registered, and which you do have to register, you have to go online to register. Check out our Facebook. You're able to register there. We just sent out a notice today that be looking to the radar, and we will too. We'll try to give folks at least 2 days notice, so we should know something by tomorrow, at least at the latest, somewhere around tomorrow, and we'll try to find a pick date for that. That's kind of tough to have that situation.
There's a lot of things coming in the very near future.
Right.
You got volleyball just around the corner.
That's exactly right. I'm glad you went there, Brandon. So you were talking about volleyball, me doing the polar plunge. How about this? I'll plunge if you coach.
I don't know nothing about it.
I don't want to go into cold water either. So
never played volleyball.
Well, me neither.
Y'all seen what happened to me last time I went bowling.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen. Yeah, you were out too long. I can't do without you. But the volleyball league is starting up within the next week. Probably we'll have those applications.
Youth Athletic League is part of it.
Yep. What was those funds you were talking about earlier? The forfeiture.
Asset forfeiture money.
Yes. So this doesn't cost any of our girls and boys.
You know who it does cost?
Who does it cost?
The drug dealers.
I like it when we cost the drug dealers.
I do too.
Yep. So come to Iredell County. We'll catch you, and you can do something good for the community.
Absolutely.
You can support
we'll make
our
them
youth.
give back one way or another.
I love it. So I guess I couldn't have had you on the show when you were with narcotics, but that was that's good. We can't have a narcotics person on here, but this will be a slogan we're gonna come up with. Come here, we'll use your money. We'll catch you. Use your money to be able to do that. But
Absolutely.
the Youth Athletic League, the sheriff started that years back. It has grown. The only time I think we had lower numbers was right after COVID.
I know last year I come out by there just say hello to everybody, and the whole gym every time I come just packed.
Right.
Standing room only a lot of times. And teams everywhere.
30, I think we're 30 some teams, 9 or 10 players on a team, over 300 and some people, some alternates, some extras, 2 coaches per team. Some of the coaches were former players. We had a few girls come back, ladies, women.
A lot of the coaches a lot of time are some of our law enforcement officers.
Right, yeah. Many of them are. Yeah. Many of our coaches.
That actually know something about volleyball. I don't.
Maybe we can line you up with an assistant coach that knows about volleyball. And you can just be that cheering on, that leadership qualities that you have.
I plan on being there anyway, clapping.
Okay, all right. Parents too. These parents come out. It is a big deal for them. I've seen grandparents. I've seen those soccer mom shirts. Well, there's volleyball mom shirts. They say those things too. So somebody did say hello. Look at that. Major Fink. Yeah. So but yeah,
that's my other little buddy.
Yeah, little buddy.
He's my little buddy too.
I thought I was your only little buddy.
You're my little buddy.
Okay, I got the littlest buddy. Yeah, so keep your eyes out for that, guys. Think about coaching. Think about coming out and supporting. I know that last year, Sheriff Campbell reached out to some of our community vendors, our food trucks and vendors, and that was a big hit.
Yeah, I ate on them drugs.
Yeah, so having those coffee trucks and those, let's see, there was a pizza truck and a pancake truck, and I look forward to that. I'm there every Saturday. Not just for the food, but for the people as well.
It's your lie. You tell it however you want.
Yep, I'm here for the people, and I hope to see you guys there as well. When we come back from our break, we will finish up, and we'll talk about some of the arrests made. I think there's a couple of drug arrests and some other stuff that we'll look into. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you back here in just about 2 minutes at The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. All right, I saw the thumbs up. I was paying attention that time, and apparently we do have some folks paying attention and listening. One of our great folks back at the office had snagged the flyer for us, the Youth Athletic League. So it will begin. Registration opens on January 14th. That's just next week. Yep, opens on January 14th. Registration is free. Any child 9 to 15 years old living in Iredell County can participate. And then capital letters underline with an exclamation point, coaches are needed too. We've got to have coaches for each one of these folks. And, like you said, our officers coach, some of our business owners, community members, some just parents, a lot of opportunities for coaching out there.
Sign up on that on the sheriff's office website?
Yes. So there will be a link on here to be able to go in to sign up. As well as send us an email, give us a call. We'll get you to where you need to go. Whenever you go into that link and sign up, you can actually sign up in there to coach, sign your children up in there.
There'll be a link to that on the app too, I guess?
Yes. And this is for co-ed too. I've said girls volleyball several times, but there's several young men that play their hearts out as well.
Okay.
So that is for those. We've already got the games lined up, and that's going to be at the Statesville High School like it has been for the last several years. They've just got a good centralized location. because this brings parents and players from north and south. They're up in the north end of the county as well as Mooresville and in the south end. So games are scheduled for March 22nd, 29th, April 5, 12, 26, and then May 3 and 10 with the final tournament May 17th. So we kind of worked out around Mother's Day, make sure we don't have any things for that. But there's a lot of games to play. It's a lot of fun. A lot of work goes into it, and I just appreciate everyone that does the helping out and pitching in to make that such a success. But we can't do it without you guys to be able to volunteer, and we can't do it without the drug dealers and their money. So let's check. I want to make sure I don't have Facebook or do have Facebook up because I don't want to miss anybody's questions or comments. Our last segment here, we've just got a few of the news press releases to go over and make sure that we're done. We want to give those criminals their popularity, right? Exactly right. If you do this crime and you get caught, we want to make sure. Oh, this is the new Joe thing here. So, all right, this is breaking news. You are here in studio hearing about it now. This is 10 counts of felony second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Sean Phillip Pulver, 37, of Cleveland, on October the 10th. There was a report that was received through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children suspecting child pornography, and Detective Lane with our Special Victims Unit was able to do a search with the social media account platform Kick and got warrants for 10 counts of the felony second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor involving child pornography, and $350,000 bond for Pulver. Those Special Victims Unit, those guys,
you talk about the classes a lot.
Right.
That's a job I don't know that I could do.
Right, I know.
But they go to, they only want the best. They send them a class after class to make them better.
Right. Being able to get out there and find that information, to farm it, if you will, the what's out there on social media, what's in their files, what's what these folks have had, and these sex offenders and what they're into and what they're able to do. That's a whole unit in and of itself. We've got our sex offender registry, those uniform guys that go out, and I know that I did have Deputy Stroud here one time. We talked about serving some of those individuals out there, and they'll check them. Sheriff says, hey, you can check them at 5 in the morning, check them again at 5 in the afternoon.
They make cases too. They don't play.
Oh no,
If they
everything
don't
you
do everything they're supposed to, they will take a warrant out and send them back to where they need to be.
And that's a felony charge. Yep. Anytime you're dealing with the sex offenses, especially with the children, it should be felonies. All of them should be. And stack them up. So, all right, we've got the H team. Deputy Will Wiedemann with the H team on Saturday, January 4th, around 12:15 in the morning. Traffic stop on a Hyundai Sonata. So kind of like what you were talking about with traffic stops. This is nighttime. This is a stop for on a 23-year-old Mr. Millsaps, Tristan James Millsaps of Stony Point, but he did have an active warrant for his arrest. He shouldn't have been out driving. Should have turned himself in. But during the arrest, there was also 7.25 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, and then 27 grams of marijuana and other forms of drug paraphernalia. Psilocybin mushrooms. Shrooms. Oh, okay.
I'm sure it wasn't his.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, so he'll have his day in court to be able to determine that. So, but here he got his nice picture there. Yeah. So 23 years old. Don't be driving if you're having drugs. Don't be driving if you got a warrant. If you are out driving, it's nighttime. What was the tips you said?
Roll down your windows, turn on your lights, keep your hands where you can see.
Simple
stuff.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Probably don't be carrying much shrooms.
Yeah, no kidding.
Weed and stuff.
Well, we appreciate everything that the community does for us, and the National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day is just tomorrow. It is January 9th, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So we're going to put something out on our Facebook about it, and that's here in the media packet. But it's nice to have these opportunities. The public uses these to tell us that we're doing a good job.
Yep.
And the sheriff talks all the time about we're doing a good job because he's where he's at. If we were failing, if we didn't have the he talks about the 53% crime reduction, the opportunities to continue to grow and expand and bring new proactive approaches to the county. That's our report card, and we must be doing pretty good if he's there. But again, these appreciation days, these opportunities, we thank you guys for stopping and just saying a prayer for those out there doing that job. And today we were able to bring in and discuss some of the school resource officers that are out there, the folks that are working in our schools. You mentioned our cops unit down there. We talked about our ACE team, the special victims unit, but boots on the ground. Where's it start at? Who's patrol? Exactly right.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And we've got several new guys and gals that are out there right now. I'm hearing some new voices and new faces, and there was a basic law enforcement training school just started.
Yeah.
And
they said that's going to be a big class.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a big class. They've actually changed the training. They've went to, it's a couple hundred hours extra now. We're looking at.
I think they said 1,000. I think.
Yeah, close to 1,000 hours of training, 20-some weeks to get out of rookie school, just to get the basic training, and then you come out here and you get your field training, which you were
got another
FTO.
6 months.
Right, field training officer.
Once you get with an FTO.
Right. And that's those patrol guys. That's the ones that are out there working many times at night, all the holidays. I can remember, a couple of years of Christmas. That was just another day.
Yeah.
That's a day
Christmas,
to work.
Thanksgiving.
And it seems like if you work Thanksgiving, you work Christmas too. It's the way those weeks fall.
Oh, yeah.
You had those to do. And it was okay. I mean, I was young at one time and didn't have any kids, and it was all right to do that. And I can remember times that, working in the community where you serve is a great honor as well too. But you run home for Christmas morning, Santa shows up, you get to stop in, see what Santa brought, go back to work, maybe go home for dinner that evening, something like that. So it's a great opportunity. But
family make you a plate. If nothing else, you can eat it on your MDT.
There you go. Yep. So I just want to say that I appreciate the patrol guys. These I get to work every day with the school resource officers, and those are more of our seasoned veterans. Last week hearing about the requirements, you had to be general certification, which is at least a year. So, and I know there's new patrol deputies, and I imagine Major Hepler won't like me saying this, but there's new patrol deputies out there that have this position in mind. And so, work your zones, make your cases, but get out in the community, see those people, and make that opportunity for what was the word you used? Building
a bridge.
Yeah, bridging the gap, building the relationships. Do that, and you could end up where working over here with school resource officers. And I mean, years ago, you wouldn't have thought you'd be where you are.
Years ago, all I wanted to be was a patrol deputy.
That's right. Yeah. So
and just be retire as a slick sleeve.
Yep. And that's we've got several that do that. And again, my appreciation of those guys, and I know you do as well. They're handling business, and a lot of the patrol supervisors have a big job of bringing up those folks. So we're glad that they stay where they are doing what they do. But I'm glad the sheriff chose you and brought you over here.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate him doing it too.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. And I'm
You're
glad.
all right.
And I'm glad that you couldn't tell me no today. So you were my go-to guy to get me
Back
to come
to
in.
the polar plunge. Are you going to do that?
The coaching volleyball. I mean, it's bump, set, spike. That's what I hear anyway. So we'll talk more about that off camera. But we got a few seconds left, Brandon. Was there anything else you wanted to tell the audience?
Be safe this coming weekend. I know this snow is going to be a lot of fun. If you have any trouble, by all means, call us. Let us know. Someone will come to you. Someone's heat goes out. If you know an elderly person whose heat and stuff goes out, please check on your friends and family if the heat goes out because the power goes out.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's going to be cold.
Yeah. Check on those folks. That's rough. Yep. Absolutely. And if you don't have to be out, Don't go out.
And if you are out and you see blue lights on the side of the road or something, please slow down
Oh gosh, yes.
and don't run into them.
Yeah, yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are our friends and family.
Exactly right. So, guys, again, appreciate you tuning in. See us back here next week on The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.